What's up, guys? It's Kictor. How is everybody doing today? Let's see who we got. We got Just Another, Horror Girl, Kit Poe, Night Owl, Nastya, Mizuki, Crystal, Literally Longa. Have you been skateboarding? Kenzie says 2 more weeks until Briarbox and I are back in Seattle. Oh, you must be so excited. Are you gonna see your family, Kenzie? Kate says, hey guys, not sure long I'll stay tonight, but now I'm here. Hello. Hello, Jay. Hello, B, Moade, Xavian, Indigi, and Sienna. What's up, everybody? Excited for the BTS comeback. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Man, BTS brings me back. What'd everybody get up to today? Today? Oh, man. Last night, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was choking, and in my dream I was trying to wake Stitch up because I was choking, and then I woke up and was having a cough-induced asthma attack, and that was horrifying. And then my dream became reality because I actually was trying to wake Stitch up in real life as I was struggling to find water in my inhaler, and oh, it was just fucking awful. And I had been using an expired inhaler, so I went to the pharmacy to get a emergency prescription this morning. So I've got my 2 inhalers back. But I'm still feeling better. But it's just like in the night I will just cough and then be unable to cease coughing, you know? But we will survive. Cratoria says, I got some fish for my aquarium today. Oh, nice! That's awesome. What kind of fish did you get? Spark Major says, oh no, I hope you're feeling better. I'm feeling better. Kate says, night sickness is real. I can feel fine during the day, and then as soon as it's EP time, I'm basically dead. Yeah, I know, it's not right. Emma says, got ice cream for the dogs, my coffee from the local coffee shop, cleaned, and got some reading done. That sounds like a wonderful day. That sounds like a absolutely wonderful day. Yeah, what did Stitch and I do? We literally went out to get my prescription, and then we had some sandwiches, and then I played some Hollow Knight, then we hung out on the couch, and oh, actually, I had a meeting with my YouTube partner manager today. And there's some stuff I can't talk about just yet, but there's a cool new feature for YouTube that I'm going to help test for them, which is really cool. Arwen says the game you're posting about earlier might be on discount. Yeah, it is. Is it Road to Empress? Is that what it's called? There's like a crazy Steam sales right now. If there's a game you've been considering buying on Steam, check it out, because it might be on, like, hella discount. I'm not so sure. I think, like, you know, anybody can do the live stream thing. It's doing more vertical live streams, but Canada just got the feature for it. So yeah, I'm gonna be testing that out. Kit posts, I got some new diamond arts and Tgcf sticker posted in the community. Oh, nice! Oh, very nice. Diamond art. Luna, Xavian says, I have been binging the Hanakimi dub and may have found the perfect beef leaf audio. Oh, what is it? Oh my gosh. Sia R8 is drawing. Hey, Spazzy. There's also auto dub for the video. Oh yeah, I know. There's a lot of new features coming out. Kate says, go to Stanley Park and take us with you vertically. Oh my god. So that you can watch a seagull eat a starfish whole. Every time I go to Stanley Park, I see a seagull deep throat a starfish. It is horrifying. Kate says, I want to see the harbor puppies again. Yeah, little seals. Stinky seals. Those seals stink. Not the starfish. Kenzie says, I'm working like crazy and gotta get some cosplays finished this week. I'm crunching like crazy. Also been working overtime to get extra PTO so I have a fun vacation. Oh, nice, nice. I ordered some stuff for a last minute cosplay because Stitch and I's cos plans may have changed. Luna Chen says, Stanley Park is in my students' textbook, so they all want to go there. No way! Oh my god, like what part of Stanley Park is in the textbook? Like what does it show? Kate says, the way we were just walking on the path, a seal flopped out of nowhere on a dock, and I was like, they just do that here? Yeah! Fat little seals. They're so cute. Leo said, I had a huge package of Danmei merch arrive today, so I filmed an unboxing video, only to realize half the camera was covered by a tissue box, so I had to refilm it. No! Oh, that's awful. Oh, thank you.
It's not hard. I don't know
Thank
what
you,
it
my
is.
wife. Oh! It's two sperm in love.
I don't know about that.
I love you.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
If it comes in time, I think I'm gonna, for Sunday at SacraCon, it's more of like a chill day. I might cosplay Beanix from Ace Attorney. If you know, you know. I ordered the beanie, but if it comes, only if it comes in time. Kenzie says, a friend is helping me with adjusting something for my MC cosplay. I'm excited to be able to try it out. Oh, that's fun. Hi, Stitch and bye, Stitch. Phoenix! Yes! Yes. Yeah! Beanix. I bought a gray sweater and Stitch is gonna help me put blue stripes on it. Have you conquered Hollow Knight yet? No, I'm exploring the crystal cavern right now. I beat the Mantis guy. I beat the soul guy. So I don't have like, I'm assuming I'm gonna get a power that lets me dash farther. And I think that's in like the crystal realm because I was kind of lost, so I looked up what to do next. Xavian says, a blurb and some pictures with the totems. The character that represents my type of teacher is from Vancouver, so the textbook talks about Canada, which is fun because I can talk about, oh, no way. Oh, yeah, there's like 3, like, or maybe there's more than 3, fucking huge totem poles in Stanley Park. Yes, you will get that power up. Very necessary indeed. Oh, sweet. I know, like, so many new places will be unlocked once I have that. Quinn, thank you for donating. Quinn says, I had a random idea for your gaming. Co-op party games to play with everyone. Party Animals is on sale. Oh, Party Animals. That's not the zoo one, is it? I like playing games with everyone, though. Big ass trees. There's so many trees here. So many trees. What can I say? Is Party Animals the zoo one? It's like Smash Bros, but with funny animals. Oh. Wizard of Moss says, this is a fun game I'm playing. Imagine what character is saying based on the chat. Well, now I'm saying Wizard of Moss. Wizard of Moss. Arwen says, if you liked the trivia games, I found a site that does it for free. We use it a lot to study at school. Ooh, what website is it? Sparkmater says, man, you'll be thrilled, Moss. Sandy says, have you considered picking up Hades? Yes. Yes. I think that might be the game that has been most recommended to me. So I should probably buy it. Moaday says, I've been making skits of my favorite BL series lately, and I think I might do one for Missville using a sound from the Magnus archives. Ooh! I love doing cosplay skits. For a bit, Stitch and I were listening to the Magnus archives. Hi, Esper Lady. Kate says, if you love Edgeworth and Chuaning, you're gonna love Thanatos. Hades, you can be gay with him. Oh, really? Really? Well, I guess I might have to look this bitch up. Oh, Stitch beat the Untitled Goose Game. Thanatos. Ooh! He's got those Edgeworth bangs that I do love. Is he sad? Esper Lady says, I started playing Gale of Darkness today. So excited because I never got to play my own copy as a kid. Oh, nice! Oh, that's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. He's a bit like Grimmy. Ooh, he's very sad. Oh, no way. He is death. Oh my god. How does Hades work? Like... Everyone always talks about, like, the shippy stuff. But it's also like a fighting game, right? Oh my god. Give me a sad boy with a middle part, and I'm down. Rogue dungeon crawler type game. Yes, but there's gotta be some sort of, like, story element, right? Like, you have a chance to encounter characters as you go through the rooms and give them gifts. Oh, it's a fighting game, but there are areas where you just chat to people. Okay. Well, should I just buy it then? How much is it? Oh, it's the spring sale. That's why everything is so cheap. What's the one everyone plays? Hades 2? Moss is good at Hades. Hades 2 is newer. The story is you are the son of Hades. You want to get to the surface to meet your mom, but your dad literally throws the army to stop you, and you have to fight your way through it. Oh, okay. Hades 2 is good, but the first one is better story-wise. Is this little sad boy in both of them? No. Oh, what game is he in? Oh, what the hell, Kate? Oh my god, Kate just gifted me Hades on Steam. Kate! Oh my god, Kate! Dude, you are too kind. Oh my god. You're ridiculous. Thank you so much, dude. Oh my god, Kate! Okay, I'll download it right after this. Thank you, Kate. That's so kind of you. Aw, Spazzy, that's cute. Knowing your cat missed you. Okay, I think this Saturday we will play the Empress game, and then I'll have to play. Maybe I could play Hades on Sunday. Kate says if you play Hades, I'll actually play Ace Attorney. We can swap ships. Only if you promise to never make Miles Edgeworth top. I won't forgive you, and I don't even want to joke about that. It's actually like an ick of mine. Thank you, Kate. Okay. Hey, Orion! Orion says, what have I walked in on? Bottom Miles Truther. Thank you, Kane. Oh, we're going to the grocery store with Jay. Hell yeah. I love the grocery store. Yes, he's like Chuaning. Yes, very good. I'm glad some things are sacred. I'm excited. I have a couple friends that cosplay from Hades too. Hades as well. Also, I was thinking back to the chapter that we just read, and I was thinking about how, you know, Shalian went through that extremely embarrassing, like, sexual scenario with Hong Honger, and then just sees him again, later, and it's just like, oh, hey, like, how come you're not in the army? You know? Like, I feel like it should have been a little more awkward. Kate says, I mean, as in Chuan and Cantop. Yes, I know. I got that. Yeah, we're on the same wavelength. I bought all the Ace games in the sale. Which one should I start with? Start with the first one. Ace Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. That's the first one. Hey, it's you again. Yeah, right? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He was actually quite chill. He was just like what? He was just kind of like, oh, you little guy who's good with a sword, who saw me panting and heaving and touched my nipple a little too many times. Oh. Just like remembering that like little Hong Honger is Hua Chung is just so cute. The boy was taken aback. I'm not in the army anymore, he replied, a little mopingly. He's always been a little bit of a moper, you know, to try, I think, to get, like, a reaction out of Shalian. Yeah, and Shalian says, like, come, tell me, why did you get kicked out? Who kicked you out? Why did you think I would know? Also, you thought what? Yeah, I think, like, Hua Chung had the idea that he got kicked out because of Shalian or something. Hey, God! Gwen says the masses are demanding the community tab. Oh, let's check it out. What is in the community tab today? Spark Major says he's invested in this little prodigy, but literally when he's only in his line of sight. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Oh, CSCL, thank you so much. CSCL says, recap, another trap. Thank you for donating. Poisoned and surrounded by Lord of the Tenders, Land of the Tenders, Shalian and Hong Honger take shelter and suffer in a cave. Shalian would rather stab himself than touch a woman. Yes. Laugh or cry counter 13.5. Yes, we haven't laughed or cried in a while. We've just been crying. We've just been weeping. Thank you, CSCL. Okay, let us look at the community. Whoa, why are we up over here? Oh, wrong one. There we go. Hello, why are we all over here? All right. This is in the community. This is the community. Yes, little puppies a-wooing. They've learned how to move the gates. We cannot keep them out. We can't keep them out. They're too strong. Lex is too strong. Oh my god, Xiao, making art of Kictor and Stitch in wedding robes? Question, which poses looks better and which type of Hanfu robes? Oh my god, this is so cute. Oh, I love both of these. What? This is so cute. Xiao, both of these are absolutely adorable. I love them. Thank you. Oh, Almie, thank you for the congrats on the wedding. Thank you so much. Oh, we got married on your birthday. Aw, that's awesome. Happy birthday. Whoa. Xavian says this was supposed to be a simple, quick drawing several days ago. I can't wait to be done. What? This is fucking amazing. Holy shit. Look at this. Oh my god. Dude, this is awesome. Hell yeah. I love this. That is beautiful. Could only say a little finger. Yeah, the lighting is so good. Oh, I can see your peace sign in the reflection. Moaday says, this is my rough sketch of how long from the cover is Mistful 2. Oh, a little snake. Very nice. Very nice. Little snake. Nelly says, I finished all. Little Wu Ming and his flower. Oh no, he's so sad. Aww, he's reaching for Wu Ming's flower. I love Wu Lian. I love Wu Lian so much. That's awesome, Nelly. Ooh, Mizuki. So I'm thinking about writing a Tgcf AU with the Crown Prince Shalian. Age up Hua Chung, slowly falling in love. Aww. Look at everybody. That's awesome. Everybody's little outfits. The dogs are going crazy. Whoa! Tilotija drew angel version of Shalian shirtless for some reason. Hey, you never need a reason. Drawing Shalian shirtless is always just good reason enough. That's awesome. I love the lighting glowing from the little butterfly. That is so cool. That's awesome. Ooh, Danmei merch hall. Nice. Run wild. And the little sitting figures. So cute. Very nice. Very nice. I'm still in the middle of Run Wild Volume 2. Oh, nice. Nelly, you painted that. Sweet. Aria's drawing. Changed my books around. Oh, very nice. Nice. Life comes first. Very nice. Aw, hey, I recognize that little bunny from 42 Shops. Got a table up in my room now. That means space actually put my books on. Nice! That's awesome. Hell yeah, utilizing more space. Oh no, in the cave when Shalian fought against the flower demons. Oh, horny, horny, horny. Yeah! I have to relieve myself before it gets worse, and I hurt that boy. I won't die. Ah! Brother, what are you doing? That's not how you use a sword to relieve yourself. You're supposed to use this end. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me show you. Oh shit. Thank God Lone John pulled him away. That is hilarious. The fact that those are both written by MXTX too. That is so funny. Stitched Witch, thank you for joining my membership. Thank you so much. That is awesome. I really appreciate that support. This is why we don't burn incense. Oh God. Look at Hong Honger. He's like, oh, we got a video on saber technique. Oh, we should check that out. Kit post as I ordered some new stuff. Oh, these are the diamond arts. Cool. Oh, nice. Sweet. Oh, hell yeah. Windmaster. What? Cherry says, kicked her as promised. Here's the land of the chicken tenders. The Colonel. Look at him. He's got his little popcorn chicken pack. Oh my God. That is fucking hilarious. Oh my God, Cherry. That is so funny. Stop. Instead of like the flower yow, it's just all Colonel Sanders. They still get just as horny. He's so happy. Oh my God. That is so cute. Ooh. Very nice. Nelly working on a modern AU comic. Ooh, Young Mafia. Nice. Ooh, got some keychains. Keychains I purchased over the weekend at Annie Maga. Ooh, nice! Oh my God, him in the pot. Oh, is that Arha? No way. Oh my God. Oh my God. These are beautiful. Good haul. Shalian runs off to save the common people or something. Honger. Gaga, please. Yeah, I love how Shalian was like, okay, you're gonna go run back to town now. And Hong Honger is like, I'm staying right here. Whoa! Night Owl, my whole bed is covered and I have about 8 full bags around it. Still have a lot to do by next weekend. Holy shit! The devil works hard, but Night Owl Workshop works harder. That's awesome. I hope you have a ton of sales at your con. That's wicked. Holy cow. Ooh, more nails. Very nice. Studying under my aunt to become a nail tech. These were my Lunar New Year's that I did on myself. Based on Hualian and Silas from Love and Deep Space. Oh, that's fucking cool. Holy shit. Being able to do that yourself? That's really cool. That is super cool. Nice. Oh, very nice cork. Love seeing people's drawings. Nice. And Crimson Queen's nails too. Awesome. I love the community. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. They get people hungry. Yes, they're just hungry. All right. Let's see how long this chapter is. From the earth of Buyo Forest, human face disease emerges. Oh, fuck. I don't really remember what happens in this part. Okay. Ooh, it ends on... Okay, we're on 162, and it ends at page 200. Quick math. How many pages is that? 38? We got this. Whoa, it's chapter 38, and it's 38 pages. That's weird. Nas just says, do you ever plan on doing a cooking stream? Yeah, I would love to do a cooking stream, actually. Have a great Gaga time. No, Spark Major, are you leaving us? Oh yeah, wait, I gotta show you guys my new shirt. It's the Sato Sugu shirt from Uniqlo. I was so lucky that they had one left in stock. They didn't have any of the Gojo one left, unfortunately. But I got the Sato Sugu one. Yay, Wizard of Moss! Gaga time! Yippee, yippee, yippee! Spark Major says, I gotta go read. I'm so behind. All right. I'll allow it. Okay, see ya. All right. Kate says, I should probably go, but I want to Gaga time. Stay in Gaga time. Okay. The man... Oh, yeah. Okay. Someone screamed. Shalian and Hong Honger were talking about why he wasn't in the army. And then, someone screamed. The man was tall and burly, and many on the streets were sent tumbling and complained loudly as he hurtled past them in his crazed dash. What gives? It's already such a hot day. Why is he running around so heated? Wow, it's my first time seeing someone dashing past without putting their best face forward. Many started laughing as they commented, since they weren't genuinely angry. But as that man blindly rampaged with his hands over his face, he collided head-on with a large, luxurious, horse-drawn carriage, and blood splattered right there on the streets. Oh! He fell backward onto the ground in a heap, and the pedestrians who'd been joking around screamed at the sight. The carriage's owner was shocked as well as he poked his head out to ask, Who was that? Who crashed into me? Everything had happened so suddenly. Shalian had to put the matter with the boy on the back burner for now, and therefore forgot about his existence. He rushed over. What happened? The man who had rammed his head into the carriage seemed to have passed out, and his disheveled hair blocked his face. A small crowd had formed around him and was watching carefully. Before Shalian got close, the man suddenly leapt up in a fit and wailed. Oh, it's all right. You're okay. You're okay. Oh, we got little Hong Honger in the back there. It's like, what the hell? I can't stand it anymore. Someone kill me. Quick, someone kill me, please. A few of the burly men passing by couldn't watch anymore and commented, which household let their lunatic loose? Take him away, jeez. They walked up to arrest the man, but when they approached and saw his face up close, they all screamed and backed away in a hurry. What is this monster? The madman chased after them, crying manically, Beat me to death! Hurry! The men were horrified. As Shalian approached and they recognized His Highness as the Crown Prince, they rushed to hide behind him like he was a divine reprieve. Without so much as a blink, Shalian gave a swift but controlled kick to knock the madman down. As he was sent tumbling into the mud, filthy as a dog, some pointed at him. Your Highness, this man, he has... No need for them to point it out. Shalian saw it too. This man had 2 faces. More precisely, it was one face with another sprouting from it. That second face was about the size of his palm, squished on half of the madman's cheek. Although the man was young, that small face was that of a wrinkly old man, and ugly to the core. Shalian was also shocked to the core. His mind was filled with only one thought. What is this monster? He immediately unsheathed the sword that hung at his waist. It was Hong Jing, the enchanted sword gifted to him by the Heavenly Emperor. That's crazy. Ever since he first encountered that white-clothed creature, he had kept the sword on him at all times in case there was a need for it. Just maybe he'd get to see that creature's true form. What a throwback! Throw forward? What a catch! You know, because in the Banyue arc, isn't that the sword that Feng Xing shows San Lang to try and get him to show his true form, and he breaks it? But the sword was certainly useful for other circumstances as well. Once unsheathed, the shine of that blade was brighter than snow, yet when he checked the reflection, it was no different from what he saw before him. It still showed this man, and it still showed both terrifying faces. That meant this madman was no monster or demon. He was human. But was there really anyone in the world with such a horrifying appearance? If he was born this way, how was he unknown within the capital for so many years? Shalian was still bewildered when someone in the crowd suddenly spoke with a trembling voice. How did this happen to him? Shalian immediately sheathed Tongjing and turned to the man. You know him? Was he not like this before? A number of people replied, We know him. We work with him. Of course he wasn't like this. Before his face. How could that happen to his face? The onlooking crowd was growing bigger, almost to the point of blocking the whole main street. With a grave expression, Shalian took a deep breath and shouted loudly and clearly, Do not come any closer, everyone! There is nothing wrong, so break it up! The bandaged boy was helping him keep the crowd away, but Shalian didn't notice. He was too busy calling for Feng Xin and Mu Qing in the communication array. Come quickly to the capital's grand avenue of divine might! After lowering his hand, he saw another person close by who looked exceedingly hesitant, hemming and hawing. Shalian took a step towards him. Do you have something you want to say? With the Crown Prince's query, the man seemed to have found his courage. Your Highness, there's something that I'm not sure I should tell you. Shalian had no time to listen to him dawdle and bluntly cut him off. Get to the point! A few days ago, some bumps appeared on my chest. 3 big ones and 2 small ones. I didn't feel anything. They didn't itch or hurt. They actually feel pretty good when you pick at them. I didn't think much of them, but seeing this guy here, I'm feeling a little... I got an itch or something. He laughed flatly and untied his robe, showing his chest. There's nothing wrong with me. Is there? The moment he took off his robe, everyone fell silent. It wasn't just some bumps that the man had on his chest. It was clearly a woman's face, with all 5 of her features indistinct, but intact. The man looked down in shock. When did it get like this? It wasn't that. Lifelike? Realistic? No matter what adjective was used, it was sheer horror. Everyone around was terrified, and in spite of himself, that man grabbed onto the hem of Shalian's robe and cried, Your Highness, save me! Feng Xin and Mu Qing arrived at that point, having rushed over from the city towers after receiving his summons. At the sight before them, they both furrowed their brows. Stand back! Feng Xin shouted. What are you playing at? Shalian didn't have time to explain. He patted the man's shoulders and comforted him. Do not worry. Stay calm. His tone of voice was warm and firm, serious but kind. The man thought Shalian had everything under control and believed without a doubt that the small matter like this was nothing to His Highness the Crown Prince, and so he relaxed. However, Shalian's mind was in a turmoil. Kate says, well, Shalian has a medical degree now. That human face was something that had grown gradually, and those symptoms, he would call them symptoms for now, were affecting more than one person. Dare he assume there were even more cases? He immediately gave Feng Xin and Mu Qing a rough account. Report this to the palace, he commanded. Pass down this order. Search the whole city and see if there is anyone else with similar affliction. Do not miss a single one. Because the matter was so shocking, once the king received the news, he made it a priority, dispatching a large number of men to search and investigate. They were highly efficient and effective, and by that night it was confirmed that there were already 5 people in the imperial capital with faintly visible faces growing on their bodies. Of those 5, either they'd seen them but didn't pay them any mind, or the faces were growing in areas not easily detected. In addition, the faces didn't itch or hurt, so those affected didn't notice right away. Beyond that, there were over a dozen others who had shallow bumps growing on their bodies, no doubt still immature faces. Hey, Miss Rosie. Women and youths made up the majority of this group of 20-some people. Filled with clear unease as they were sent forth before Shalian, they greeted and comforted one another as they milled about. Initially, Shalian was speaking to someone on the side to address some business, but when he noticed this close camaraderie, he felt something was amiss. Do you all know each other? He asked. The officials running about had worked all night. They briefly glanced at their reports and replied, Your Highness, many of them live on the outskirts of the capital, fairly close together. Maybe they've crossed paths as neighbors. Many of the affected were from the same area? Muqing was shocked. The people growing those human faces all live close to one another. It's contagious? Shalian had already arrived at the same conclusion. He just didn't announce it aloud so bluntly. Immediately, he commanded, "Isolate them, disperse the non-affected, and do not let anyone come close to this place. Find a place to quarantine everyone here." A strange, contagious disease. When those words leaked out, it was more effective than any order to disperse troops and strong-arm people away. Not only did the onlooking crowd scatter, more than half the houses on the street emptied out. Shalian ordered the officials and soldiers he had appointed to gear up for protection, and he brought those 20-some people to the outskirts of the capital, where some of them had already lived. Near the residential area on the outskirts, there was a large forest called Buyu. The government officials had intended to build a quarantine camp there to temporarily settle the sick. While the others were busy building camp, Shalian and his 2 attendants entered the woods. Oh, I remember this part. It's so gross. As they walked, a sense of foreboding weighed heavier and heavier on Shalian's mind. Fengxian and Muqing noticed as well, and it was Fengxian who spoke up first. "Your Highness, isn't this where Lang Ying?" Shalian clasped his hands behind him, frowning deeply. Yeah, it was here. Ooh, is this where he buried his baby? Buyo Forest was the very place that Lang Ying had dug a grave barehanded for his son's corpse. Realizing this, the 3 exchanged looks of dismay. Although they couldn't put their finger on it, a theory was forming in their minds, compelling them to start searching for the place where Lang Ying had buried the corpse that day. Yet it had been months since then, and with so many trees in the Buyoi forest, how could they possibly remember the exact tree the child was buried under? Right then, an indescribable foul stench wafted through the air. That disgusting stink was like that of a rotten corpse, but even more suffocating. One breath of it could knock a man out. Others smelled it too and started backing away, covering and fanning at their noses. "What's over there? What's going on? It stinks worse than a 10-year-old pickle jar." Shalian rushed forward and followed that frightful smell, and sure enough, he came to a familiar-looking crooked tree. The earth under the tree was slightly raised, forming a benign-seeming mound. The soldiers brandished their swords and gathered to protect Shalian, but he raised a hand to stop them. "Be careful," he said gravely. "Ordinary people stand back." The not ordinary Fengxian retrieved a shovel and approached. After a few shovels, the muddy mound became a ditch. The foul stench grew thicker, and Fengxian dug more cautiously. After another few shovels, a small black thing was dug out, and it seemed to be squirming. Ah, it's so creepy! Fengxian slowed his movement, and the soldiers reacted as if they were facing a great enemy. Suddenly, the earth lurched up. A hugely swollen, bloated body broke out of the soil, exposing itself before the torch-holding crowd. That rotten, foul stench surged into the air, and a great number threw up on the spot. Shalian's pupils shrank. That thing couldn't be described as human anymore. Anything else in the world was more human than it. No one would be able to tell that this gigantic corpse was once a tiny, emaciated child. The urge to vomit rolled up in his throat, and Shalian looked away. Fengxian and Muqing were dumbfounded too, and they called out in shock. "What is that thing? Is that a curse or just a rotten corpse?" No matter what that thing was, Shalian knew what they needed to do. "Stand back! The further the better! I'm gonna burn it!" He raised his hands, and a stream of flames leapt forth. As the fire blazed and filled the air with thick smoke, the sharp sound of a battle horn sounded from the distant imperial capital, loud and shrill, calling all to attention. The 3 looked up at the same time. That was the signal for an enemy attack. Fengxian cussed. Fuck! Of all times, they had to come now! Muqing's face was dark, and his expression was unreadable under the firelight. Maybe this is intentional. Shalian made the call. "Muqing, you stay here and take care of this. Fengxian, you come with me. We'll repel them first. Remember, do not let them notice any weaknesses." It was nighttime. The 2 of them rushed out of the city in a hurry, and they fought a battle in a hurry. Although the fight came suddenly, they still won. But even though they won, none of the Shanla soldiers felt the joy of victory, Shalian himself included. The strange disease that had appeared so suddenly came to be called human face disease by the people. Word of it spread through the imperial capital fast as lightning, causing uproar and great unease. The king considered suppressing the news, but the first victim had rampaged in the streets before countless witnesses, so from the very start this wasn't something that could be kept under wraps. Besides, the human face disease was spreading rapidly. In a matter of 6 days, over 50 more people found that similar lesions had begun to appear on their bodies. At the same time, the Yong'an sieges were growing more frequent. Attacked from both sides, Shalian could barely find the time to go to Yong'an and create rain. All the spiritual power and energy he allotted for the task was instead spent at the quarantine camp in the capital outskirts. Within chilly Buyue forest sprawled a large number of simple tents and huts. Shalian crossed over a ground packed with patience. This quarantine had started with 20-some people, but soon ballooned into hundreds, and the number was growing. Every day, if he had time, Shalian would come and use his powers to relieve the horrifying symptoms of those afflicted. However, he couldn't cure the root cause, and what the people truly hoped for was for him to heal them completely. As Shalian walked through the camp, a young man lying on the ground suddenly reached out and tugged at the hem of his robe. "Your Highness, I won't die, will I?" Shalian was about to respond, but he noticed that this young man looked familiar. Upon a closer look, wasn't he the passerby who gave him an umbrella on that fateful rainy day when he learned that Shanla was short on water? In recalling that day, that rain, that umbrella, warmth filled Shalian's heart. He knelt down and gently patted the back of the man's hand. "I will do my best," he told him earnestly. It was as if the man had received the hope to live, and his eyes twinkled with joy. He repeated, "Good, good," as he laid down once more. From the fervent eyes of the sick all around him, Shalian could tell they genuinely believed he would save them, and so every time he met those eyes, guilt sprouted deep in his heart, and he grew even more desperate for a cure. After making a round of the quarantine camp, Shalian found a place to sit. Muqing started a campfire while Shalian himself was lost in thought. Some distance away, a few errand runners walked off, carrying a stretcher, whispering quietly to each other, yet somehow their words had reached Shalian's ears. "How many is this now? The 4th or 5th, I think." On the stretcher was a patient who died in Buyue Forest. It was actually difficult to die from human face disease, but the fact made it even more frightening. Without the release of death, it meant that those things would stay on the victims' bodies for the rest of their lives. The thought of it alone could make one lose the will to live, especially young women. They cared for their appearances, so if something like that grew somewhere important like their face, most would choose to simply end their own lives. Another sighed. "When will this end?" Another said, "We have His Highness the Crown Prince. We won't lose. Just relax." The first one could not help but make a small complaint. "I'm not afraid of losing battles, but with a situation like this, does it matter if we don't lose? It still doesn't make life easier for us civilians." He sighed. Never mind. I'm not complaining here. Just pretend I said nothing. I said nothing." If Feng Xin were there, he would have immediately rushed up to cuss them out. Muqing, however, simply gave Shalian a look and continued to build the fire without saying a word. Only when those two were completely gone did he comment expressionlessly. "Ignorant commoners only know how to blame others in the heavens. Do they think a martial god has control over everything?" Shalian shook his head. What that man had said held a certain logic. He was a martial god. When he was part of an army, there would be no battles unwon. Yet, at a time like this, what use was it to win battles? An army was meant to protect civilians from attack. But if the civilians were being attacked by a plague, didn't that make this advantage nothing but a cruel joke? Just then, the campfire flickered, and another sat down next to Shalian. It was Feng Xin, who had returned. "How is it?" Shalian asked immediately. Feng Xin shook his head. "It was exactly the same as when you searched. There's no trace of Lang Ying on Beza Hill, and nothing of that strange white-clothed character either. Who knows where they're hiding? And there's no way of confirming that they're even the ones behind this. Also, the Yong'an people were all fine, like we suspected. Not a single case of human face disease." Muqing poked at the fire. "The Imperial capital and Beza Hill are so close to one another. There's no way no one was infected. It's obvious that they must be the ones behind all this." Many were secretly convinced, and it made sense to think that way. But even if they accused Lang Ying of foul play, whether secretly or openly, the man was hidden well away, and they couldn't find any proof. They suspected that human face disease was born from a curse, and that the source of said curse was the corpse of Lang Ying's son. If it was a curse, then it was a good one. It didn't leave any traces for them to investigate, so there was no evidence to confirm their suspicions. And who knew, maybe this human face disease truly was a new, naturally formed plague. There was no way Shalian could draw any conclusions about what the disease actually was, unless they apprehended their suspect. He had rushed to give the upper court a report of his theories, yet, as mentioned, Shalian's descent was a transgression, and things between him and heaven had changed. In the past, if he wanted to report something, he could simply barge into the Palace of Divine Might and scream it directly into Junwoo's ear. But now, since he's defied Daddy, he can't do that anymore. Now he had to do it by the books. To explain what that meant, if he was lucky, he could pass his word through to the heavenly officials simply by throwing out hefty sums of merits. If he was unlucky, he might be forced to go through complicated red tape and be tied up by endless delays. And even after that, it'd still only be some other heavenly officials sent forth. Shalian himself was a heavenly official, and other than Junwoo, there were very few who could match him in power, so the other heavenly officials might not even be effective. Junwoo carried a heavy burden. He attended to a myriad of affairs every day, so there was no way he would come to Shalian's aid in person. Thus, Shalian's reporting was only for show, and he didn't expect anything to come of it. Moreover, none of that truly consumed Shalian's thoughts. They were consumed by another problem. He spoke those thoughts aloud. If we assume that Young An used a curse for the sake of defeating the imperial capital, it would have been the most effective to direct the attack at the army. Wouldn't that be the same as opening the gates once the army falls? It wasn't that there were no victims of the human face disease in the army, but compared to civilians, there were very few, only 3 or 4 examples to be had. Once they had been sent to quarantine, the situation was immediately under control, and nothing spread to other soldiers. I guess the soldiers aren't fucking each other. Feng Xin always spoke his mind whenever a thought arose, so he said, maybe they think even if they defeat the army, with you around they'd still lose, so they gave up on that and targeted civilians directly. Mu Qing chuckled dryly at this. Feng Xin immediately reacted. What are you laughing about? Nothing. You always manage to bring up good points. I have nothing to say, Mu Qing replied. What annoyed Feng Xin the most was people who pretended to act courteously, but whose real intention was to snipe at others. Thus, Feng Xin ignored Mu Qing completely. If it really was them, then I'll lose respect for them. Fight honestly on the battlefield if you have the ability. Don't use shady tricks to harm innocent civilians. Shalian wholeheartedly agreed, and he sighed. I've been thinking these past few days about what exactly causes the infection. We have to know the cause before we can control the disease itself. Isn't it obvious? Feng Xin said. Infection comes from close contact, touching, drinking the same water, eating together, sleeping together, or whatever. Shalian rubbed his forehead. On the surface, that's not wrong, but take the army, for example. The soldiers are all fucking each other. The soldiers all drink, eat, and sleep together, and are in close quarters than most ordinary households, so why aren't more soldiers infected? Mu Qing furrowed his brow. So what you mean is, even under the same circumstances, with different physiques, some will be infected and others not. You want to find out just what kind of people are immune to human face disease, right? Oh, I just remembered. Oh, fuck, I just remembered. I totally forgot. Shalian raised his head. Mu Qing, you understand me. That's exactly it. If we can find that out, there might be a way to stop human face disease from spreading. Mu Qing nodded. Good. Then let's look at it this way. What kind of people are more likely to get infected? What type of patients dominate the quarantine of Boyue Forest? Shalian had walked through the camps countless times these past few days and could answer with his eyes closed. He listed them off immediately. Women, children, teens, seniors, and young men who are smaller in build. So only the weak are infected, Feng Xin wondered doubtfully. Should we have the king order for everyone in the capital to work out and strengthen their bodies? Doing crunches will prevent human face disease. ... Shalian and Mu Qing both gave him a look, not wanting to respond. After a pause, Feng Xin himself added, Wait, that's not right. Obviously not. The first victim that rampaged on the Grand Avenue of Divine Might was a strong, healthy man, so the theory didn't hold up. Just how are the soldiers that had become infected with human face disease different from the other soldiers? Shalian thought of many possibilities and tried testing his hypothesis, but no matter from which angle he looked, there wasn't anything obvious that differentiated from the rest. The characteristics of the infected victims were all across the board. Their looks, their physiques, their social statuses, their temperaments. It was impossible to draw a conclusion based on the criteria. Could the infection really just be a matter of chance? What exactly did the soldiers do to stop the spread of human face disease? Shalian mumbled to himself. In other words, what have they done more often than civilians? When he came to this thought, his eyes suddenly widened and his face paled. At his abrupt halt, Feng Xin asked, What's wrong, Your Highness? Have you thought of something? Shalian had indeed thought of something. He had come to a logical conclusion, but at the same time, it was a terrifying one. This is so good. This is so good. Impossible, he blurted, jumping to his feet. No, it shouldn't be like this. That's absurd. Function and Mooching immediately rose up. What is it? Shalian held his forehead and paced back and forth, raising his hand. Hold on, I have a ridiculous guess. It shouldn't be true, but I need to test it out. What guess, exactly? Mooching asked. How will you test it? Do you need me to find you someone? Shalian immediately rejected the idea. No, we can't use a live person for testing. What if I'm wrong? He hoped he was wrong, even if better if he was way off the mark. Mooching frowned. Your Highness, if you need to ascertain whether you're right or wrong, you'll need a live person for testing. That's the best way. Just standing here brooding won't do any good. Function frowned too. Can't you see he's troubled? Stop saying such things at a time like this. You're upsetting the Crown Prince! Mooching turned to him. Weird. What exactly did I say? Didn't I speak the truth? At this point, what's the use in being indecisive and hesitating? Function was repulsed. Do you have to judge everything based on how useful it is? We're talking about a live person here. Not even a bit of hesitation. Aren't you a little too collected? Collected, Mooching countered. You actually want to say cold-blooded, right? Oh my god, these two need to kiss. Shalian didn't have the patience to diffuse the fight between the two like he usually did and scolded them. The two of you can start an argument over a single word. What a disgrace. Stand here for 1 incense time. No one's allowed to move within that time. Same old rules. ... Orion, you are making His Highness sad. Hearing the words same old rules had Function and Mooching's faces changing colors. Shalian waved his hand. Heaven officials' blessings. Start. A moment later, Function said through gritted teeth, Blessings shine from up high. Mooching gritted his teeth too. High imitation, no thought. Function was in trouble. Thought. He was deep in arduous thought, trying to come up with a way to continue. Shalian turned to enter Buyue Forest to find the 3 soldiers who were infected for questioning. Regarding the same old rules, this was a method Shalian had come up with to distract his companions. Function and Mooching would snipe at each other every chance they got, starting petty disputes from nothing at all. At first, Shalian would make them stand in silence for 1 incense time without speaking to each other until they calmed down, but this tactic wasn't very effective. It was then that Shalian decided to try idiom training. Tempted with a chance to try an objective winner and loser, they'd lose all sight of their original conflict and would instead focus on crushing the other in training idioms. The world became decidedly more peaceful after Shalian discovered this effective method, and he was quite pleased. That is hilarious that they have to listen to him and do that. It's like timeout, and you have to play concentration. Oh, thank you, Wei Wuxian's wig! Yeah, I have a wife now! Yay! Forcing them to train idioms now was also an attempt to make everyone ease up a little, and yet this didn't last long. After 1 incense time, Shalian returned. His face was extremely grim when he gave his instructions. Bring me all the soldiers who lived in the same quarters as the infected. I need to question them. The 2 of them had each been struck down during several of their own turns and had also seized their own little victories, so upon being released from training idioms, they both sighed in relief. We will, Mooching said, but your findings might not be accurate if you use such a roundabout method to gather evidence. He's such a bitch. Function had already turned to heed his orders. Shalian called him back. Wait, it's already deep into the night. Questioning them now would cause too much of a stir, and we can't call forth too many at a time either. It'd be too conspicuous. The things I want to ask must not be made known or allowed to leak. If you go now, we won't be able to conceal anything. Function turned his head. Then what should I do? Bring them to you one by one to have you interrogate them privately? There's no other way, Shalian said. Tomorrow bring the soldiers who are close to the victims to my chambers one by one, and don't let them know the others have been questioned. Remember to order them not to tell anyone. Otherwise... He breathed deeply and sighed. Never mind. Just threaten them. Say that if word gets out, they shall be executed without mercy. The harsher the better. Questioning them one by one. How long will that even take? Mooching commented. It doesn't matter how long it takes, Shalian stated. The more I ask, the more sure I'll be. I absolutely need to get to the bottom of this. There can't be any confusion. Thus, the next day, Shalian sat in the chamber that had been temporarily assigned to him atop the towers and personally interrogated over 300 soldiers. As for the questions he posed, all 300 of them gave the same answers. With every soldier questioned, Shalian's face grew a shade darker. When that was done and Function and Mooching entered the room, they saw Shalian sitting by the table, forehead propped up on his hand, unspeaking. It was a while before he slowly began to speak. "You two stay and guard the city gates. I'm going to make a trip to Mount Taisong." Function hesitantly asked, "Your Highness, did you find something out from the interrogations? Is it a curse, or—" Shalian nodded. "That much has become clear. It's a curse." Mooching was solemn. "You're certain?" "Without a doubt," Shalian said. "I also found out what kind of people are infected and what kind aren't." Despite his declaration, there was not a trace of joy on his face from solving the mystery. Function and Mooching felt things might not be that simple, but if Shalian didn't take the initiative to tell them, then as his subordinates it wasn't their place to ask. Their hearts silently sank. At Mount Taisong, the royal holy temple, the highest peak, the palace of divine might. The state preceptor was paying his respects within the soft curling clouds of incense smoke. Shalian crossed the threshold of the hall and immediately cut straight to the point. "State preceptor, I need to see the heavenly emperor." The state preceptor finished paying his respects and turned his head. "Your Highness, the gates of the heavenly realm no longer open to you." "I know," Shalian said, "but right now I have ascertained that the kingdom of Shanlo is currently under attack by a malicious curse that has never been seen before. This is not a natural disaster. It is the work of inhuman creatures. Please help me. Request that the heavenly emperor descend and possess your body so I can report this information to him directly." "Ooh! Junwoo possessing Guoshi's body? Is that how they do it?" That's pretty gay. Oh my god. Imagine the two of them in his body. That's a riot, actually. No one knows him more intimately. Orion's like, yeah, it's awkward with us right now. We can't do that. Junwoo's really bad at cards. Maybe he will know the source of this and help find a solution. Since his return to the mortal realm, he had reported to the Palace of Divine Might 3 times. The first 2 times weren't sincere. They were only done out of habitual courtesy. This time, he was genuinely seeking help. The state preceptor sat down on a chair. "It's not that I don't want to help you, Your Highness, but there's no longer a need for it," he said. "Even if I give you a hand now and have the Heavenly Emperor descend and possess my body, the answer you will receive from him will only disappoint you." Shalian's expression dropped slightly. "Do you know something? Do you know what the white-clothed creature wearing the crying, smiling mask truly is?" "Your Highness, do you still remember what I told you?" the state preceptor asked. "In this world, fortune, good or bad, is predetermined." He's like, "Bitch, I told you! I told you so!" Shalian was taken aback and didn't respond. "Originally, many of those from Yong'an were destined to die," the state preceptor continued. "But you transferred water, created rain, and gave them a breath of relief. Yet you cannot save them completely from the drought, cannot settle their futures. So now, they are in the Yong'an army upon Beza Hill, fighting for that future. Originally, the imperial capital was destined to decline, but you personally descended and used your own powers to turn things around and gave the imperial capital a breath of relief. Yet you didn't steel your heart to annihilate the Yong'an rebel army and root them out. Instead, you allowed them to survive until now, and like cockroaches, they only grow stronger with each battle." "Your Highness, may I ask what you're hoping to accomplish?" the state preceptor asked him in wonder. "Are you perhaps waiting for both sides to realize their mistakes? To repent and be born anew? To reunite as one country once more?" An odd sense of shame budded within Shalian's heart, yet it soon turned into confusion as he thought, "That's strange. I saved people and protected people because they were innocent and didn't deserve death. Everything I've done was only done after serious consideration, and every choice was made after much struggle. Yet why does it all sound so laughable coming from another's mouth? Why does it sound like I've achieved nothing, that everything I've done is such a failure?" That word appeared in his mind, but he immediately blocked it out. You used your divinity to interfere in mortal matters, the state preceptor added. You've completely upended the predetermined fate of the kingdom of Shanla, made a complete and utter mess. For the sake of balance, nature will breed things to bring everything you've derailed back on track. I don't know what that creature is, but I am certain it was born because of you. Ah, that's so fucked. That's so fucked. Oh, poor Shalian. Oh, fuck. No. Fuck you, Guoshi. How could you? Dot, dot, dot. Shalian's poise faltered. The state preceptor continued. I am also certain that, should the Heavenly Emperor see you, he will tell you the same thing, because this was the reason he didn't want you to descend in the first place. But I feel that even if he told you then, you would have most likely come down anyway. Young people are like this, unheeding of advice. They won't believe that they can walk until they've fallen. They won't believe they can't walk until they've fallen. You're saying that I'm the cause of human face disease? Shalian was in disbelief. By that logic, with this so-called predetermined fate, everything that uncrying, unlaughing creature does is my fault? So the upper court won't even bother with this? You can think of it that way, the state preceptor acknowledged. But that's not altogether correct either. If you must track things to their origin, you could also blame your father and mother. If they didn't give birth to you, then you wouldn't have ascended, and therefore you wouldn't have descended. By that reasoning, you could blame your entire Shanla ancestry. Assigning fault is meaningless. As for your last question, that's right, they won't. Because the kingdom of Shanla was destined to fall. Since you reached out your hand and flipped the board, there will surely be another hand to set right all the game's upset pieces. Fuck! Goshi is savage, man! That's crazy. Shalian drew in a deep breath, not wanting to discuss whether the kingdom of Shanla was destined to fall. He closed his eyes for a minute, then asked, So answer me, State Preceptor. If I disappear now, will that creature also disappear? I'm afraid not, the State Preceptor replied. Easy to come, hard to go. Whether it's a god, ghost, demon, it's all the same. Shalian nodded. Fine, he said rigidly. Thank you, State Preceptor, for your guidance. Shalian knew any more talk would be pointless. The only one he could rely on to keep fighting was himself. He bowed to the State Preceptor, bidding him farewell, and prepared to leave. Behind him, the State Preceptor called out, Your Highness! How do you plan on walking your path from now on? Shalian had his head down. Since my disappearance would change nothing, I will fight to the end. That is my only path. After a pause, he raised his head high and clearly enunciated every word. Be it a hand or something else, I don't care. The people I protect will never become its pawn. Nice. 2 weeks later, Lang Ying led the Yong'an army in another attack. After months of countless battles, big and small, the Yong'an troops could now finally be called an army. Visual J said, I'm back, what did I miss? Basically what just happened is Shalian interrogated the people who were sick and the people from the army who weren't sick, and he found out the reason of what makes people immune. He hasn't told us yet, though. And then he wanted to go ask for help from Junwoo, and Guoshi was basically like, fuck you, this is all your fault, and nothing you can do will change it. After months of countless battles, big and small, the Yong'an troops could now finally be called an army. They were no longer refugee brigands, but a proper army with considerable strength. It was as if Lang Ying had evaporated from the mortal realm for a long time, and having waited for so long, when Shalian saw this man again in the battlefield, he didn't waste a moment. He dashed straight past the troops to face him, swinging down with his sword as he shouted, Where's that white-clothed man? Lang Ying blocked his attack and didn't answer, fighting back seriously. Shalian pressed him with each move he made. You know who I'm talking about. My patience is limited. Unexpectedly, Lang Ying stared at him and asked, Your Highness, didn't you say it would continue to rain in Yong'an? Shalian hadn't expected him to ask that question. Startled, the words got stuck in his throat. He did indeed promise Lang Ying that Yong'an would have rain. However, in recent days, the number infected by the human face disease within the capital had increased exponentially. At this point, there were almost 500. Those 500 victims couldn't all be settled in Buyue Forest. The quarantine camp was running out of space. The government officials were debating a move to a bigger place, further away. Most of Shalian's power was being used to relieve the symptoms of those 500 people, and he had nothing left to create rain in Yong'an. Since he couldn't make use of the Rainmaster hat, he felt bad keeping someone else's spiritual device. With no other options, he sent Feng Xin to the kingdom of Yushi to return it and give his thanks. Shalian struck again, yelling angrily, "I created that rain! Don't you have any clue why it stopped?" The angrier he was, the calmer Lang Ying became. "That has nothing to do with me. I only know that, even without human face disease, your powers won't last for long. Just like how even with your reign, not many will survive in Yong'an. It's all pointless. Your Highness, why do you think you can achieve anything you want to do? Rather than putting my fate in your hands, I choose to put it in my own." Something from that speech provoked Shalian, and his intent to kill flared. His blade turned slightly, and he raised his left palm. A voice screamed inside his head, "Kill this man, and the remnants of Yong'an army will be nothing to be afraid of." Throughout all their past meetings, this was the very first time Shalian had steeled his heart to kill Lang Ying. When he delivered a blow from his palm to Lang Ying's chest, the man spat blood from the strike, but the concussive blast did not penetrate his heart. Instead, it was repelled by a shockwave. Stricken with that shock, Shalian couldn't believe it. He backed away a few steps. "You?" Shalian knew very well what had shocked him back. When those who were destined for greatness in the mortal realm, kings, geniuses, and heroes of chivalry, encountered a dire situation, their bodies would naturally radiate a protective aura to shield them from harm. Most of them had the potential for ascension. Lang Ying was no more than a boor, yet he radiated the protective spiritual aura, and it was even an exceedingly rare one, the aura of a king. Shalian didn't dare to think deeply about what that meant, and he suddenly felt his heart go cold. The chill was from Lang Ying's sword, which had impaled him through the chest. "Hey, Broccoli Fox!" In that battle, there was no victory or defeat on either side. Many still perished on Yong'an's side, but this time, Shenla didn't fare any better. If it were anyone else, they could say it was a hard-won battle, but to Shalian, this was definitely defeat. It was the first time he had been at a disadvantage, and although Lang Ying was still no match for Shalian and retreated with injuries in the end, many witnessed Lang Ying stabbing him. Shalian could guess that many soldiers were now talking behind his back. "His Highness is a martial god. How could he be stabbed? Aren't we the army of a god? Why was this another overwhelming victory?" However, Shalian had absolutely no time for such insignificant noise. Muqing had informed him that today, another 100-some human face disease patients had been sent to Buyue Forest. One short day, and over 100! The condition of the first group of human face disease victims had worsened severely. There was not a single spot on their bodies that wasn't affected. Ugh! And they had to be covered in thick white sheets lest they scare people. However, even through the cover, the contour of those bumps could still be seen. Shalian moved through the camp to help alleviate symptoms, and when he finally finished one round, Feng Xin pulled him aside. "Your Highness, what happened on the battlefield today?" he asked in a low voice. "How could you get stabbed by that boar? You struck him so many times. Why didn't you just kill him?" Shalian didn't want to tell him that there was now a king's aura on Lang Ying that not even a heavenly official could touch, so he only smiled wryly in response. It wasn't that he didn't want to kill him, it was that he could no longer kill him. All the spiritual power in his attacks was dissolved by that king's aura, and nothing worked against Lang Ying. When he realized this, he instantly switched to using his fists, but that Lang Ying was thick-skinned and could withstand quite the beating. Just then, someone wailed from a distance away. "Your Highness, save me!" Shalian had accepted a bowl of water that Feng Xin passed to him, and that wail came just as he was taking his first sip. Shalian choked and didn't have the time to stop coughing before he rushed over. The one who had wailed was the young man who had given him that umbrella, and because Shalian was particularly gentle towards him, his cries for help were also particularly frequent. At first, the only part of this man that had grown a face was his knee. Shalian had used his powers to stop the disease from spreading, so only his left leg had grown a face, nowhere else. But right now, he was madly kicking that leg and writhing. Shalian held him down and comforted. "Don't move, I'm here." The young man was terrified to the core and grabbed onto him. Your Highness, save me! I felt an itch on my leg just now, like some weed was scratching me. But when I looked down, I saw those things. Their mouths were opening and closing, moving. They're moving. They're eating grass. They're alive!" The hair on Shalian's neck raised instantly. He looked down, and sure enough, there were over a dozen faces tightly pressed together on the man's left leg. Many of the mouths were stuffed with grass, chewing, gnawing, as if they were starving. Oh, that's gross. Many of the patients started screaming, and the crowd exploded in uproar. Function and the soldiers had to use force to subjugate them and prevent a riot. Shalian used a hand to hold the young man down and turned to someone beside him to ask, "Does his leg still work?" All the nursing staff at Bouyer Forest wore full quarantine gear. They wrapped their whole bodies tightly in bandages and capes, marking their faces unrecognizable in the process. One of the nurses answered him. His voice sounded like a boy's. "No, Your Highness. His leg is already forfeit. We don't know what else is festering in there. His leg is heavy as a block of lead, and we could hardly move it. The infection is also climbing. Soon it'll progress beyond the leg and reach his waist." Shalian had done his utmost to use his powers to heal these people, yet the young man's leg had lost almost all normal function and was so obviously beyond saving. "Your Highness," one of the doctors whispered, "in my opinion, the only thing we haven't tried is cutting off the part with the faces. That might slow the spread." This was also the only solution Shalian could think of. "Then cut it off!" "No!" the young man immediately cried. He was terrified of having his limb amputated, but at the same time he didn't dare hug his deformed leg, and he wept in pain. "My leg is not forfeit. Maybe it'll get better. Your Highness, don't you have any other way to save me?" Shalian didn't want to answer with, "I'll do my best," or "I'll try," anymore. His sight was going dark, and he replied, "I'm sorry, I don't." It was the first time His Highness the Crown Prince had said such a thing, and it shocked everyone present. There were some who lost it right then and there and started screaming, "No, you're His Highness! You're a god! How could you not have another way? We've been waiting for you to come up with something for days. How could you have nothing?" The one who spoke was immediately silenced as they were shoved down by someone, but it wasn't Feng Xin or Mu Qing. Mu Qing was silent and frowning, seeming like he thought Shalian's answer was too blunt and didn't comfort the crowd. Feng Xin, on the other hand, that's really rich that Mu Qing thought his answer was too blunt. Feng Xin, on the other hand, was further away, barking at some particularly rowdy patients. Shalian was battered and exhausted as of late, his unsheathed sword always hanging from his waist. When the blade came close to that grotesque leg, one of the faces felt the chill of the blade and suddenly stopped chewing. It opened its mouth and let out a shrill scream. That thing actually screamed. Although the sound was faint, it clearly came from the leg. The young man screamed as well, almost fainting from fright, and he clung on to Shalian as he sobbed, "Your Highness, save me! Save me!" Right then, 3 shallow sores opened on his waist, close to his thigh. "Your Highness, it's spreading! It's spreading!" the doctor shouted in alarm. "The infection is spreading from his leg!" No matter how much spiritual power was spent, Shalian still could not control the young man's condition in the end. Those horrifying things were about to spread over his entire body. Once that happened, there would be no going back. Could they really do nothing but sit back and watch? Shalian gritted his teeth. "Let me ask you one thing. Do you want this leg or not? I can't guarantee what will happen once it's gone. If you do not want it, nod and we will operate immediately. If you want it, then do not nod and we will figure something out." That young man was breathing heavily, his eyes blank from terror, his mind lost. It was like he was nodding but also shaking his head. The faces on his left leg started screaming one by one, as if welcoming their new companions. In between all the shrieks of "Yee!" and "Ah!", the delight on their faces was apparent, and their little red tongues were quivering. It was hard to imagine what the insides of that young man's left leg looked like, just what it harbored within. This couldn't be delayed any further. Shalian instructed the doctor, "Cut it off." That doctor, however, waved his hand rapidly. "Your Highness, forgive me. I'm not very sure either, and I don't dare operate in a place like this. If amputation doesn't guarantee anything, then we shouldn't take the risk." The doctor cursed himself for speaking up. The nail that stuck out got hammered down, and what was he doing fighting for such a frightful job? He escaped back into the crowd and stopped talking. The young man was mumbling over and over, "Your Highness, save me! Your Highness, save me!" Yet Shalian's mind was completely blank, and a hopeless voice mumbled inside him, "Who can come save me?" That's sad. Orion's Bell, thank you for donating. I love how Tgcf shows how it can be dehumanizing to be put on a pedestal and idolized. Shalian is a person too, but he's a god, so we must have all the answers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, like what he just said here. Who's gonna come and save me? His hot, sexy ghost boyfriend isn't of age yet. Thank you very much for donating, Orion. All right. Warning for gore. Shalian's mind was completely blank, and a hopeless voice mumbled inside him, "Who can come save me?" There was chaos all around, screams and cries everywhere. The twisted little human faces squished below were wailing as well, and in that moment, Shalian thought he saw hell. It was like he was staring at hell without really seeing it. With cold sweat rolling, he widened his eyes, raised his arm. The sword slashed down, and blood splattered. Ah! The young man was only half conscious at first, but he snapped awake and screamed wildly after Shalian cut his leg off. "My leg! My leg!" Shalian knelt in the pool of blood, doing his best to hold him down while his white robes were stained and mottled with red. "It's over. Doctor, stop his bleeding." The doctors present were flustered and forgot themselves. Muqing couldn't watch any longer. He stepped forward. "Stop losing your heads." Muqing just watching them fucking cut this guy's leg off, and he's like, "Everyone chill." He took out a small medicine bottle, and from it flowed a faint smoke that slowly stopped the bleeding. Shalian also wrapped the wound with a layer of spiritual aura. As for that amputated leg, it laid on the ground all by itself. Suddenly it quivered like a live creature, and it continued to squirm, even severed from its body. Shalian raised his hand, and a fire roared forth, torching the leg into nothing but black ash. The young man wailed, "My leg!" Shalian checked his waist and saw that human face disease wasn't still festering. His eyes brightened, and he said delightedly, "It's good. It stopped. It's not spreading." The young man finally stopped his tears and opened his eyes. "Really? It's really better?" The people all sucked in a breath, then the crowd began to stir, and after a moment of hesitation, someone shouted, "Your Highness, please treat me too." A boy's voice rang out from not far away. "Don't be so reckless. We can't be sure. What if he relapses?" Thanks to that voice's reminder, Shalian calmed down too. "That's right. Nothing is certain right now. We need some time to observe." Another piped up, their voice, "I can't wait any longer. If we keep waiting, this thing will spread to my face." Another just gave up altogether. "I'm willing to take the chance." Soon, the hundreds within the Boye forest grew unruly and noisy, all of them beseeching him, "Your Highness, please, we beg you, relieve us of this suffering." The masses started prostrating towards him, worshipping Shalian at the center. Although he was in a difficult situation, Shalian didn't dare to be careless. "Everyone, please get up first. If this man does not relapse after some time, I will do my utmost to treat everyone." It was a while before the people were comforted. After making many more promises and settling the young man with the amputated leg elsewhere, Shalian sat down under a tree. Muqing looked around before speaking in a low voice. "How could you just chop off his leg? If the man didn't beg you to do it, don't just take the reins. What if it didn't work even after you amputated? You're the one he'd hate." Shalian's heart was still racing. With a hand covering his face, he croaked, "It couldn't wait. He wouldn't answer me, and the doctor didn't dare operate. I couldn't just stand by and watch the infection fester. Someone had to make a decision. For once, Feng Xin looked worried. "Your Highness, I think you better take a rest. You really don't look that good. We'll take over for you for the time being." Oh, Feng Xin is so worried for him. Shalian felt like he couldn't hang on much longer. He nodded slowly. "All right, I'll rest here for a bit. We'll be heading back soon, so don't go too far." There was another wail from within the forest, and Feng Xin and Muqing left to go check. Shalian sat there lost in a daze for a while, then lay down on the ground right there. In the past, if no one was around to build him a perfumed tent with a tusk bed, he would never have just lain on the muddy ground out in the wild. Under the current circumstances, however, he really didn't have the energy to trouble any errand runners. He dropped his head and passed out, still dirty and unkempt, the grime and blood on his robes left uncleansed. Shalian didn't know how much time had passed. He woke from his haze with a start when he heard Feng Xin calling for him, and he sat up immediately. When he did so, he felt something slip off him, and he looked down to find a patched, worn blanket. Someone must have covered him with it when he was resting. Oh, I think we know who. Shalian rubbed his forehead and spoke to the approaching Feng Xin. "I don't need this. You can give it to the patients instead." Feng Xin was slightly taken aback. "Huh? What do you mean? This blanket? That's not from me. I only just got back." Shalian turned his head. "Was it you, Muqing?" It wasn't me either, Muqing said. Maybe it was one of the devotees living in the camps who brought it for you. Shalian looked around but didn't see anyone worth noting. He shook his head, thinking, I didn't even sense anyone coming close. What a shameful state I'm in. He folded the blanket and laid it on the ground before rising to his feet. Let's go. Shalian left with a heavy heart, and very soon, the very thing he had feared happened. 2 days later, Shalian visited Buyue Forest again, and some of the doctors informed him of the issue. Around a dozen human face disease patients had ignored the warnings and snuck out at night to use fire and knives to burn and slice away their sores. Many of them mishandled the tools and lost too much blood, but they didn't dare tell anyone. They hid under their blankets quietly and died equally silently. Shalian had only just left the battlefield when he received the news. Standing before hundreds, watching those bloody, crying patients, he finally lost his temper. Why won't any of you listen to reason? Didn't I say that we haven't confirmed this method would cure the infection's root cause? How could you be so foolish? It was the first time he had gotten so mad in front of so many devotees, and the masses bowed their heads silently, afraid to speak. Shalian was so furious that he couldn't help but lecture a bit more, but as he berated them, someone spoke up unexpectedly. Your Highness is invincible, so of course you'd call us foolish, but aren't our conditions so desperate that we need no choice but to try foolish methods? Although this individual didn't oppose him openly, his voice still dripped with sarcasm. Blood rushed to Shalian's head, and he snapped. What did you say? The person immediately shrank back into the crowd and disappeared. Function was further away and didn't hear, otherwise he would have cussed them out already. Muqing noticed that the mood of the crowd was going in the wrong direction and cautiously chose not to provoke any more outrage. So he does know when to be quiet. Seeing that Shalian didn't actually respond, another piped up. Your Highness, if you can't save us, then we gotta save ourselves. Don't worry, we won't waste your holy medicine or spiritual power. It was hot blood that rushed up first, but now Shalian felt immense cold. What the heck? Did I ever say using my holy medicine or spiritual power was the problem? Clearly I only stopped them because amputation might not work. Why do they have to say it like I'm arrogant and only making empty promises? I can't feel their pain, but if my desire to help them wasn't sincere, why in the world would I give up being a heavenly official and bring trouble upon myself down here? He'd never been stabbed by another person's words before, and he'd never been wronged like this. Thousands of thoughts filled his mind, but none could be formed into words. He knew this was all because he couldn't find the cure for human face disease, and his devotees were finally losing their patience. The suffering of these citizens was 100 times worse than his own hardships. He could only clench his fists, cracking his knuckles. A moment later, he landed a sudden punch on a tree next to him. The tree cracked and snapped, making the people jump and ending their whispers. Only then did Function notice something wrong and rushed over. Your Highness! Landing that punch relieved Shalian's fury and let him calm down somewhat. Yet in that dead silence, another person spoke up. Your Highness, there's no need to be so angry. Everyone here is a patient and we're all your followers. No one owes you anything. Once those words were spoken, many nodded to themselves. Although the voices were quiet, Shalian's senses were sharp, and he could hear every sound clearly. The crowd was grumbling. Finally, someone dared speak the truth. I've been holding it in, afraid to say anything. Didn't they always say His Highness the Crown Prince was a gentle soul? But I guess he's different in person. Oh, man. In that endless wave of talk, Shalian unconsciously took a step back. In his 20 years, he had never been terrified before any enemy, and he had never been afraid. Yet at that very moment, an emotion akin to terror swept through his heart. Just then, he heard another person whisper, With such impressive might, why not go set fire to the enemy camps instead of making us suffer all these battles? Hearing those words, he couldn't stand there any longer. Of course he knew that he was now nothing like that sword-bearing, flower-holding, smiling, kind, martial god on the altar. Shalian turned and ran, sprinting out of Buyue Forest like he was trying to escape. Behind him, Function and Muqing yelled, Your Highness, where are you going? There was suddenly a disturbance in the crowd. It seemed a young member of the nursing staff had suddenly started beating up patients out of the blue. It's Hua-Chang. And now others were joining in the brawl. Yet Function and Muqing had no time to worry about them anymore. They called forth troops to take care of the situation and immediately ran after Shalian. Little Hong Hunger just beating the shit out of the people talking shit about Shalian is the best. His flight was taking him towards Beza Hill. Every one of his steps carried him several dozen meters, and he soon came to the top of the densely wooded mountain. Shalian was seeing red, and he shouted into the forest, "Come out!" "Your Highness," Function cried after him. "What are you doing coming here?" Shalian yelled to the sky, "I know you're here, so come the hell out!" Mooching shouted, "If he came when you called, we wouldn't need to." He trailed off and fell silent. Behind the three of them, something made scrunching sounds. Whipping their heads around, they saw, sitting upon a vine, watching them, was none other than that white-clothed creature, the left side of his face crying, the right side smiling. The creature had actually heeded his call. Shalian immediately lost it at the sight of him. He lunged, crying sharply, "I'm going to kill you!" That white-clothed creature lightly and nimbly evaded him. His large white sleeves were like the wings of dancing butterflies, elegant and beautiful. Function and Mooching made a confused noise and moved to aid Shalian, but they abruptly noticed something extremely alarming and halted, looking dumbfounded. Shalian, on the other hand, was filled with rage and noticed nothing. He unsheathed his long sword just as Function shouted, "Your Highness, don't! You see, he—" Shalian's hand was already around the neck of that white-clothed creature. The other hand held his sword, pointed at the creature's heart. The creature was clearly at his mercy, but suddenly it burst out laughing. That laugh was sonorous and gentle, like the laughter of a young man. Shalian thought it sounded familiar, like someone he knew. But in his rage, he couldn't think of who that voice belonged to, and that sliver of confusion didn't last. Soon enough, the white-clothed creature sighed. "Shalian, Shalian, it doesn't matter how much you struggle. You're going to lose. The kingdom of Shanla is doomed." Shalian was furious and slapped him without waiting a beat. "Who do you think you are? No one gives you the right to talk, so shut up!" That was an exceedingly rude gesture for him. The fact that he slapped him is actually fucking hilarious. Just like... The head of that white-clothed creature was knocked askew from the force of the slap, but he righted it again. "Do you really want me to shut up? All right. But you do know there is a way for you to turn your defeat into victory. It just depends on your willingness to act." If he hadn't added that last comment, Shalian would have ignored him, but with it, Shalian thought that, just maybe, there could be some truth to his words, that there was a way, but one with a heavy price. He forced down his fury with a deep breath. "How?" he demanded darkly. "If you want me to do something, just say it and stop wasting my time." "Come closer, and I'll tell you," the white-clothed creature beckoned him. "Fine," Shalian acquiesced. Function was alarmed. "Your Highness, you're not actually—" But then Shalian pierced the heart of that white-clothed creature with his sword. He leaned in close. "Speak." With an exceedingly soft voice, the white-clothed creature whispered in his ear, and no one else heard exactly what he said. Yet the longer Shalian listened, the more his eyes widened. After listening for a while, he slapped the creature again, unable to hold back. "I didn't say to tell me this," he yelled. "What I want is a solution, a cure." "I did tell you. That is the way," the white-clothed creature said. "It all depends on whether you're willing to do it." Shalian's face twisted. "What exactly do you want? Who are you really?" The white-clothed creature chuckled. "Who am I? Can't you take off my mask and see for yourself?" Shalian had already planned to do just that, so he yanked off the half-crying, half-smiling mask in a fit. The next second, he froze completely. Behind that mask, the one smiling at him had the fair and handsome face of a young man. His eyes twinkled with life, a smile curved his lips, and his expression was endlessly gentle and modest. It was his own face. And that's the end of the chapter. Oh, it's so scary. Isn't that so good? Goshi was like, it's your fault. It's your fault and you caused this. Who's the white creature? It's you, bitch. Oh, isn't it so good? It's so scary. It's B Honey says, "I want to get back to the present so bad because this is so awful." Right. Moade says, when I say this fucks him up immensely in the future. Yeah. Yeah. This whole situation gives him 800-year-long PTSD. Yeah, definitely. I mean, isn't it so sad just seeing his own faith in himself falter for the first time? Like, for the first time where he's like, oh shit, like, I'm a failure? Like, he'd never thought of that word before. But in the beginning of the book, it's like Shailian is synonymous with the word failure. But at this point, the word failure is like not even in his vocabulary. I know what you mean, Kit Poe. Me too. Xavian says, I wonder what kind of person he'd be if he didn't have to deal with all this. Yeah. Oh man, all the stuff with like fate from Guoshi is so frustrating. It's so gross when he's like, is there anything I can do? Like, is it my fault? And he's like, no, it's not entirely your fault. It's your parents' fault for birthing you. Hey, there are good moments in the past. Like, fucking Nurse Hong Honger beating up patients. Goshi is so rude, but I gotta love him. He's very funny. He's just fucking old. Yeah, Goshi's got some issues. Get Gaga's name out of your sick mouth! Like, feeds medicine, and then, like, bitch slaps. While a good moment, I wouldn't consider it fluff. Yeah. Well, there's definitely no romance. But you can see Hua Chung's, like, fast-headedness. Okay, look, we've only got this much more before we get back to the present. Is that only one more chapter? It's 2 more chapters. We got 2 more chapters and then we're back to the present. And we get right back to Qirong. What even was happening? Oh, it's in the... Is it where his... Is that... Are they in his mom's... where his mom's, like, body was? That's crazy. That's a crazy flashback. Holy cow. Does it get more fucked up in the flashback to come? I don't fully remember. No, I don't think so. I think it's just kind of sad. Because you get to see people fully stop believing in him. And then we go into the present, and then we go back into the past, and that's when it gets infinitesimally more fucked up. Yeah, fucked up in just a little different way. How many people post in the chat if this is your first time reading this part with us? If this was your first time finding out White No Face looks like Shalian underneath the mask. Leo says, I was distracted the whole chapter by knowing that Junwoo can possess Guoshi. Right? Right? I know. I feel like I haven't thought about that either. That's so funny. He's like, no, I can't have that man on my body again. Oh, lots of first times. Awesome. Very exciting. Very exciting. Yeah, it's very scary, very sad. It's so sad seeing the people lose their faith in Shalian. But the whole reason for that is to show that, like, Hong Honger's faith is not shaken. Hong Honger is the bestest. He is. I got him right here. Gaga. Gaga, I will bitch slap every last one of those patients who dare offend you, Gaga. I'm so little, but I won't stop fighting, Gaga. Gaga, I'll fight for you. He would defend. San Lang, Gaga, yeah. Nice, Arwen. It's always satisfying finishing a series so that you can you have access to the fanfic. Once I finished the main story of Arha, I immediately started reading fanfic. I was like, finally! And then I actually found out that a lot of fanfics don't touch upon spoilers at all. Of course some do. And Arha is a series you definitely don't want to be spoiled for. Kane says it's kind of fun to read fanfic and be confused as fuck. That's me reading Ace Attorney fanfic and not knowing any of the Apollo Justice characters. Whenever they appear, I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? But I'm starting to play Apollo Justice now. He is such a cutie pie. Also, Function, like, I don't think I fully remembered how sweet he is. He is really quite attentive towards Shalian. And, you know, Mooching is helping too. Like, he knows when to not be a sarcastic little bitch. Oh yeah, Shui Meng's ending. Oh my god. Not the candlestick. Kane says, Apollo, my husband, second to Edgeworth. Damn! Okay, Apollo must be good then. I'm excited to get to know him better. Mirai says, Bai Wuxiang is Shalian, but isn't Shalian because Shalian is Shalian, and Bai Wuxian is he, but he is Bai Wuxian, but Bai Wuxian is Shalian, but isn't Shalian, but simply different font. Shalian, but is Bai Wuxian. Sometimes you just have to picture Bai Wuxiang as, like the Scream ghost-faced killer guy, but specifically the Scary Movie like parody version of him for it to make sense. Shaylan in a trench coat. Kane says, before I started reading Tgcf, I thought people were calling him Bai Wuxian and was so confused as to why being bisexual was his title. That is hilarious. Oh my god. No, he's pretty gay. Oh my god. Bai Wuxian could be bisexual. We don't know. We do find out. He definitely hasn't fucked any women. That's because he has no game. EA Sports. It's in the game. No Riz. He's too busy haunting to bone. Rizless Shalian. Shalian's got some pretty good Riz. It's innocent Riz, but he's got Riz. He doesn't know he has Riz though. Aw, Cherry, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that you're getting misgender. That sucks. I'm glad you're having fun in the stream. Listen, it's like Shalian has Riz when he doesn't, when it's unintended. When he's actually in a romantic situation, he has no Riz. Like, okay, if you have no reason to live for me. I'm not saying Riz in a romantic sense, but like that was so smooth. And even when like the dying patient is like, will I survive? And he like touches the back of his head and he's like, I'll save you. Like, come on, you can see like the anime sparkles in his eyes. He has aura for sure. The godly aura, literally. The people are falling for him. But once he's actually in any sort of romantic situation, he's like, get me out of here! I also love him slapping White No Face. There's just something about a slap that's just so, like... And, you know, I think Shalian's quite smooth as well. Like, you know, how he chats with, like, the Rainmaster and, even just, like, with everybody. He's very smooth. He's not awkward in conversation. And I like how you can see pieces of that even in the present timeline, like when he's kind of sarcastically, like wryly making jokes with Ling Wen, and even his banter with Hua Chung. Like he's quite personable, you know. And that's why it's so great when he gets so embarrassed, and you know it's because of Hua Chung. Like it's almost I can't think of the word. Yeah, he's super smooth. It's like you can tell when something Hua Chung says like really got to him, because he can't handle it. He's not a smooth talker suddenly. He does start stuttering like crazy, and he doesn't do that with anybody else. Yeah, Hua Chung's voice in the Donghua is great. He's just such a lovely guy. He is. Oh yeah, where did he get the mask? I don't know if they bring up the masks. It's like masks are just a thing in, you know, like, cause Wu Ming wears a mask as well, and what's his name? The croissant moon officer wears a mask. One day you just acquire a mask. Masked theater was big. Yeah. I guess they're just like theatrical masks. I feel like the half crying, half smiling is just like, it's so mocking, you know? I feel like its intent is to mock. Oh, you're emotionally conflicted? Guess what? Orion says, I like that Yin Yu has a creepy little mask. Xavian said, did you just type the call response clapping thing? Oh my god. I think I did that without even realizing it. And then I don't think there is lore behind the mask. I don't think so. My neurons just activated. Did you clap back? Body in Abyss, Heart in Paradise. Oh, yeah. When you're sad, but you gotta be happy. Turn that frown upside down. That's pretty much what Body in Abyss, Heart in Paradise is at the end of the day. It's turn that frown upside down. They went to an arts and crafts night, yes. Turn that frown into a silly little smile. Sorry. He had it commissioned. Maybe. It's like either that, or he found it, or he did it himself. And MT says, I hardly smile, so when I go out, people look at me and ask, why are you mad? I didn't even realize this. I get told that I am smiling constantly. I do think that like my concentrating face is a smile. Like when I'm playing hockey, people are always like, "Oh, you're always just smiling." Like the refs are like, "You're always smiling." And like, yeah, I'm smiling because I love playing hockey. But I think my like when I'm concentrating or like if I'm trying to figure something out, I think I'm like smiling. Which I'm lucky for because apparently smiling can make you feel good. And I do feel good all the time, which is great. Except for when I feel bad. Yesterday I started to feel kind of sick at night, like I was mentioning, and I kind of felt nauseous, and I was just like, oh my god, this is the end. Does anybody have fun plans for dinner? Resting sad face. Oh, do people ask if you're sad? Twaz says, I'm so glad you're always smiley because I sometimes feel bad about never being able to be nonchalant. Zavian says, I once had strangers come up and ask me if I was alright. I was just lost in thought. Apparently my resting face is not the happy variety. Oh my gosh. Ooh, mozzarella sticks. Nice. Beef stroganoff. Nice. Oh, tomato soup. My fucking favorite tomato soup. I need recommendations for tomato soup. I put them in the chat because Pacific Foods used to sell. Kenzie knows. I don't think Kenzie's still here, but Pacific Foods made a tomato soup that came in a box. It was so creamy and delicious, and they don't fucking sell it anymore. It's like the worst thing ever. It was like one of Stitch and I's main foods. Resting terrified face. Oh my gosh. Oh, we don't have Trader Joe's. We're going down to Seattle soon though, so maybe we should stock up. Spazzy says Pacific tomato soup with pepper is awesome. Ooh. Is it called like tomato soup with pepper? Fish sticks, nice. Kane says cries in Campbell's tomato soup. Listen, I used to only have Campbell's tomato soup, and then you make it with milk, so it's extra creamy. But then Stitch showed me the Pacific one, and I was like, I can't go back. Add cream cheese to regular tomato soup. Yeah, Campbell's with milk. Campbell's with milk. It is good. It is good. And we have some Pacific Rim. I love Pacific Rim. I've read some good Wally and Pacific Rim fanfics. There was one that was really good. It was like when they linked their minds. Actually, I think Ray wrote this. Their minds like stayed linked, and they basically had like dream sex with each other. It was awesome. Yeah, grilled cheese, tomato soup with red pepper. Okay, we'll try that one. Yeah. The intimate mind melding of Pacific Rim makes for great fanfic. Pizza roll. Campbell soup. Everyone's Campbell soup. Yeah, I guess we gotta go back to basics. Has anyone ever had this sandwich where it's tomato and old cheese, like aged white cheddar, salt and pepper, and mayo on toast? It's super good. It's B honey. I have never come across a sneeze fetish. Sneezing. I've never ever once come across that. Oh my god. Specifically Hualian. That is incredible. Oh my god. Well, a sneeze is like an eighth an orgasm or something, isn't it? That's I think those two words together are so comical. Sneeze fetish? Kane says, wait, I've read that one. No way. I gotta text Ray. Hi, Ray. Have you read the Hualian sneeze fetish fic by chance? The last line of the description is sneeze fetish. I feel like you gotta read it and report back now. Multiple people have read it. Well, was it good? Thank you, the Craft Bunny. Oh my god, thank you so much, dude. Thank you. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. One-eighth is good. Nice. Leo says, the way I've been on a huge Feng kick lately and was wondering if you have any good Feng fic recs. Oh man. I'm trying to think back. I did read one good one. Mooching did have a collar. Oh, Xavian with a recipe? Sort of on topic. Tomato ramen, garlic in a pot with sesame oil, diced canned tomatoes, a bit of water, packet of salt ramen, and egg drizzled in. Cheese and tteokbokki for extra tasty, super comfy food. Oh, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh my god. Do not sneeze in the pot. Unless you're into that. Thank you, Xavian, for donating. Craft Bunny says, I'm doing okay. I'm 3 months post-surgery and taking my time to heal. I'm so thankful that people still like my art after taking such a long break. I promise I'll be back to draw more hot Danme Man. Yeah! Hell yeah! Oh, nice. Are you gonna go to SacreCon this year? One of my highlights of SacreCon was hanging out with the Craft Bunny, and the Craft Bunny was IRL live translating the TGCF audio drama to me. We were listening it together and she was repeating it back in English. It was awesome. I don't know what we're going to read after TGCF yet. I was thinking maybe You Woo, but also it might be too sad. We could read... Yeah, I don't know. By the time we're done... There's still going to be quite some time till we're done, so there might be something else exciting new that comes out. Oh my god, don't read You Woo. Read Case File. I can't read Case File live, man. Man, I love Case File. Don't get me wrong, I fucking love Case File. I'm enjoying it to myself. It would be so fun to read, though. Oh my god. It would be so fun to read. Oh. Mental Ebola. Yeah, psychological Ebola. Visual J said, I rage quit Case File. It's understandable. It's not for everybody. It's definitely not for everybody. Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish might be cute and YouTube friendly. That's true. I'd like to read that one, actually. Oh, Thousand Autumns, true, yeah. I feel like Thousand Autumns is one I gotta read. The Disabled Tyrant's Beloved Pet Fish could be fun. That could be fun. All right. Okay. Tomorrow is the members only game stream at 7 p.m. And yeah, so come hang out with me and Stitch tomorrow. We'll play some games at 7. And then on Saturday, I'm going to stream that Empress game. probably around noon. And then I'm not sure what time Sunday. And maybe on Sunday we could stream Hades. I'm prepared for sneezing prompts. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes. That's so funny. All right. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7, the members. And everybody else, I'll see you Saturday. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me. You're so fun to read with. And I hope you have a good night. And I love you. Bye.